Will housing ever become more affordable?
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
We've enjoyed for over 30 years helping people buy and sell real estate. And not only that, helping people build their finances, helping people build their faith, helping people even build their fun. Because you know me, if I ain't having fun, I'm going home, packing my bags and leaving the place. And have enjoyed helping people heal, strengthen, and flourish in their relationships. Really 30 years of helping people build their life and their business.
Yeah, so not really. If you're just sitting still, hoping and praying that affordability of houses goes down, then there's not much chance of that happening for you.
So on this episode, what you're going to learn is how to make your own affordability. You ready to take control of your own affordability? Because prices look like they're going to keep going up and interest rates are down, which is helpful. And yet the real opportunity here is you get to make your own affordability. I love it when I get to take charge of my own stuff.
Yeah, you have options.
Right.
Who doesn't want options? It puts you in a place of power when you have options to decide.
Yeah, the first one though, you're not going to like this one. I'm telling you right now, it's going to feel like, what? This is the best way for me to make my own affordability?
This is Mama Yetta. This is like your parent saying, do this.
Do this. Do this. Even though you'll be saying, I don't want to do what you're saying. Don't want to do it. Not now. Not ever. No way, no how. And yet it is the single biggest way that you can control and affect your own affordability for a property.
And it is, drum roll.
Drum roll, yes, big, big, big. I don't think you want to hear it. No, they don't want to hear it. I've decided I can't say
I drum rolled for nothing?
Okay, so here it is. Change, shift, get control of. Yeah, this is a lecture. This is a Mama Yetta lecture. Get control of your expectations. The expectations that we have in our current culture as a whole, as a society, we tend to have gone way out of proportion. How many people have you heard say, maybe you've heard it come out of your own mouth? It's come out of my mouth, so I'll wrap myself out first. I know I don't like doing that, but I'm doing it for you. Where I wanted to have the house, the size of house, the spaciousness of house, or maybe it was a car, not a house, that my mom and dad had or relatives had that they had worked 20 years for or 30 years for. But I thought when we were 20 years old, we thought we should have a car that was brand new, drive it off the lot. Couldn't afford it. Interest rates were crazy, but I thought they had a nice car. I should have a nice car. And so shifting our expectations and getting them into a range that actually allows us to afford a home. Because the bigger conversation here is you're better to be in the market than out of the market. As long as you're going to stay in the market for a little while, because then any volatility is taken care of. So if you're only living in Ottawa for a year, probably not a wise, well, maybe right now it would have been. In the last year it would have been. Generally speaking, that's too short a time. Usually would suggest 3 or more years. Unless you're buying something that you have the potential to increase its value based on use or based on improvements. But the bottom line here is hard pill to swallow.
You know what I just realized, Jetta?
Shift your expectations.
Every single thing we're going to talk about is really about expectations. Because your drive till you qualify. You know what? Your expectation may be that you want to be 5 minutes from work or 10 minutes from work. But you may have to drive 50 minutes or an hour to work to be able to get into the market to buy a type of property that you want. You know, like recently we helped a couple and I showed them a lot of homes around the Ottawa area and in their price range every time. Even though he was in construction, every time it was, I'm disappointed. It's too much work. I can't make it into something.
Well, the foundations aren't solid. Most of them didn't have good bones.
Yeah, the room sizes are too small. Or I like this potential, but this will take me $150,000 to renovate, and I don't have the $150,000. So we ended up driving an hour out of Ottawa, Van Cleek Hill. I know exactly where it is now. I've been there several times. But they got a beautiful side split home that was in great condition. And they're not going to have to do anything to it. Yeah, they're going to have to drive. Now, fortunately, one of them works from home now. And so there's less commute. And I'm finding that more and more people are looking further and further out from the main city because more of them are working from home.
Right. So it may be shift your expectation on location. And maybe it's distance, or maybe it's amenities. Maybe you just have to give up some of the amenities you thought were essential. Or maybe it's shifting your expectation on the size of the yard.
Yeah, or maybe you really, really want a freehold, but all you can afford is a condo right now.
And
That's a different expectation.
Right. And can afford or choose to afford is another conversation. You may be able to buy the single you want, except at what's the cost?
Well, now you're sounding like Mummy Yetta. Again.
Oh, I am. I'm getting older, as we all have noticed. I keep thinking I'm 34, and I know that's an illusion because I have kids that are beyond that, so can't be true. And yet, what I have learned from my years of being in real estate and being on this life journey is my expectations have gotten me into trouble more times than any other external factor.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're struggling to save the 5%, maybe your income's good, or it's the 5% that's an issue. Again, adjust your expectations. Maybe you need to be in a less expensive rental. Maybe you need to be back at home with mom and dad while you earn. Sorry, mom and dad.
Yeah, we apologize because we've been the mom and dad. Not that fun, but
maybe you get a roommate so that they pay $500 or $600 towards the rent, so that can go towards your down payment. The faster you can save your down payment. And the other thing I would suggest, don't try to save 20%.
Yeah.
Save 5% and get in. Yes, you'll pay some CMHC fee. They're going to roll it into the mortgage. And it's still, you're going to be way ahead than trying to save that money.
Generally speaking, unless you've taken a second job. So maybe it's an expectation around how much you have to work. Maybe it's a matter of fast tracking some savings, and that way you can get into the market quicker.
Yeah. It could even be one family member that's been staying at home needs to get a at-home job or something. There's different ways of getting into the market.
And then maybe it's duplex time where you purchase something, maybe even partnering to purchase something. Maybe I know our daughter did that many years ago. To get in meant we buy something and we live together, or we rent out rooms, or we buy a duplex and we live on our own side, or you buy a duplex because you can afford it, but the payments are going to stress you out. Then have somebody else pay off part of your mortgage.
Yeah, so you rent one side. But I love the idea, Yetta, of coming up with two couples, maybe there are two people, two singles, whatever, that are, not able to buy it themselves, but combined, the two can, and now they live in one on each side.
Right.
So what's the point of this?
The point is, well, if you didn't get it yet, I think you're not going to get it. The point is, shift your expectations because you create your own affordability. And although that's a hard pill to swallow, it will allow you to win in the long game.
Right. So we're honored to be your advocates on the journey of real estate and life exponential.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.